Hello folks, it's Javier Blog 208 here coming to you live. I am outside in Washington, D.C. Don't worry, I'm not staying outside. I'm out here because I'm staying at the community home, the housing area in Washington, D.C. right now. I've been here since Sunday. I'm finally leaving tomorrow. There's a bunch of other people in that place, and the situation is I can't find a quiet place to film this video, but I got a lot on my mind tonight. I got my computer out here and everything. I got everything prepared. So tonight I wanted to just share some thoughts with you guys. I'm going to be talking about the Facebook whistleblower and the little incident that happened with Kirsten Sinema in Arizona. So one of the big questions that people that I want to address is the Facebook whistleblower good or bad? Okay, so I'm going to pull something up real quick, and I'm going to read it. So, as we know, that in the past couple days, Facebook had like a 6-hour outage. Right at the time, some whistleblower was exposed. She was exposing kind of corrupt stuff about Facebook. So, in that sense, I'm kind of glad that what's done in the dark is going to come to the light. That there are a lot of underage children on Facebook, which does not surprise me. And I'm going to be very, very honest with you guys, because I'm going to share both sides of this issue. I am all for, underage children being banned from Facebook. I'm all for that. I don't think that they should be on Facebook. I think there's a lot of inappropriate and adult content on Facebook that should not be exposed to underage children. There are two sides of the argument. I'm seeing conservatives particularly call this whistleblower like a leftist and saying that this is all about, control over the internet and all that. And that's true. I agree with that. I think that what we saw happen with Facebook, going out for 6 hours is just the beginning. It just goes to show how much dependence we all have on social media. Like for me, the only reason I have Facebook is because I use it to upload my photos, and I got a lot of photos, and I use Facebook to upload my photos. And honestly, if anything happened to Facebook, I would lose everything. I'd lose all that. Which would be very unfortunate. But again, it just kind of goes to show how much dependence and reliance we have on social media for all our contacts and everything. Because these are not the olden days anymore. People don't call on each other anymore, or really, save everybody's phone number, or et cetera, or pen pal, or whatever. These aren't the olden days anymore. Pretty much everyone relies on social media. Everyone relies on the internet, and it's just so kind of an unfortunate situation that the quote unquote modern times have put us through. But anyway, with that being said, I don't think underage children should be on Facebook, and I'm just going to say I'm all for having their accounts pulled. And I'm glad that the whistleblower ended up exposing that. I want to read something from Candace Owens that she posted about this situation, which I want to find interesting because I'm going to show you a different side of this issue. And just before I read it, I want to make clear about my view of the other side of this issue. Though I'm all for underage children not being allowed on Facebook, I also recognize that this could be the beginning of something very, very big. And, anytime, just imagine, Google could be next. Google, Twitter, things that people rely on. Like, I rely on Google Maps for GPS. Just Google, Twitter, and all that stuff. And just imagine if the whole internet goes out one day. They just take away the whole internet. And there's going to be riots and panic all over the globe. And the fact that this whole Facebook thing was a global event, it should ring all kinds of alarm bells, because this shows that somebody has control over everything that we claim to have. Google goes out, it's out for the whole world. Facebook goes out, it's out for the whole world. I'm going to read something from Candace Owens right now. And it's something interesting that I shared. Okay, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, so she is criticizing the Facebook whistleblower. All right, I praised I said I gave the Facebook whistleblower the benefit of the doubt that she is correct. Young children should not be on Facebook. Candace Owens comes out, and a lot of other conservatives, but I'm going to use Candace Owens as an example. She came out and criticized the Facebook whistleblower. So Candace Owens says, so the Facebook whistleblower wants more government control over the internet. That could be true, which is exactly what the World Economic Forum and global leaders are after. That's true. Get ready for staged emergency after staged emergency we saw it this whole past year, and what they claim can only be fixed through more global government control and coordination. I agree with her 100%. Again, I'm going to read. She says, get ready for staged emergency after staged emergency, which they claim can only be fixed through more government control coordination. It's ultimately to bring more government control over the internet, more censorship, and ultimately, banning like conservative users. And I hold very conservative views myself on a lot of uncertain subjects. I'm not all of them. There's many things I'm very liberal on. But the point is that they start labeling like people or so-called misinformation as terrorism and all that. Just like YouTube is pulling out anything that's criticizing the vaccine, YouTube is pulling it out, and just there's a lot of censorship going on. And so Candace Owens and other conservatives say that this is only going to get worse as the government starts to take more control over the internet. So I'm just going to leave you with that. Interesting stuff here. I see both sides. I don't think underage children should be allowed on social media, but at the same time, we shouldn't be expanding government control over the internet and censorship and all that. And with COVID-19 and all this, pulling down anything that, speaks against the expected mainstream media view of the vaccine or COVID-19 or whatever is misinformation. It's just increasing censorship and increasing censorship and increasing censorship. And as conservatives or libertarians or whatever we are, we got to stand up and we got to fight back. All right. Now, I'm going to get to my second thing. We're going to be talking a little bit about Kirsten Sinema. And I want to share this with you guys because this is going to be interesting. I'm going to play a video. And yes, I'm going to play it on the phone. I'm going to put the phone to the computer. Same thing as always. And then we will discuss. Oh, by the way, I learned about this through David Pacman. Gosh, love that guy. Have so many disagreements with him. Still love that guy. Good man. Very intelligent man. Get a lot of information from him. Okay, so let me know if you guys can see this. I will put the volume up and I will put the brightness up. All right, so protesters followed Senator Kirsten Sinema of Arizona into the bathroom, and it got weird. So we will play and we will discuss.
For us to be able to talk about what's really happening, we need a Build Back Better plan right now.
We're not going to work. We need solutions to Build Back Better plan. We have the solutions that we need. We knocked on doors for you to get you elected, and just how we got you elected, we can get you out of office if you don't support what you promised us.
We need 7 billion citizenship for 7 billion. We need the Build Back Better plan right now.
Blanca. I was brought here to the United States when I was 3 years old. And in 2010, my grandparents both got deported because of SB 670. And I'm here because I definitely believe that we need a pathway to citizenship. My grandfather passed away 2 weeks ago, and I was not able to go to Mexico and visit him because there is no pathway to citizenship. And if we have the opportunity to pass it right now, then we need to do it because there's millions of undocumented people just like me who share the same story or even worse things that happen to them because of SB 1070 and because of anti-immigrant legislation. And this is the opportunity to pass it right now, and we need to hold you accountable to what you told us, what you promised us that you were going to pass when we knocked on doors for you. It's not right.
survivor and a survivor of human trafficking, and it's because of the lack of worker protections that we don't have in the gig economy. I need you to stand by workers. Lots of people who are like me who became homeless and now just need the ability to participate back. Will you support the Build Back Better plan so that we can have justice and solutions that we need for immigration, labor,
Pass the bill! Build back better! 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 Pass the bill!
Build back better, pass the bill! Build back better, pass the bill!
Build back better! Pass the bill! Build.
So you guys get the point. I have few words for that. Let me just go ahead and explain that I'm disgusted that that happened. I condemn it full-heartedly. I full-heartedly condemn that action. As a Christian, as somebody who claims the Christian faith, I support immigration reform, not because I'm Latino, not because I'm part Mexican, Cuban, and Chilean, not because of that, but because it's the right thing to do, it's the Christian thing to do, it's the Christ-like thing to do. I support comprehensive immigration reform. I'm going to make that very clear. I support comprehensive immigration reform. I support DACA, and I support, doing the right thing for undocumented immigrants. But I just want to make one thing very clear, that they don't have the right to act like spoiled, entitled brats. They don't have the right to come and if they're not legal, they don't have the right to come and demand and expect things from the U.S. government, from the government, to following Kirsten Sinema in the bathroom, screaming "Build Back Better" past the bill. That's unacceptable. That's not okay. And by the way, Build Back Better is part of the is a globalist thing, in my opinion. It's part of the globalist agenda, and it's something that is there's a very dark side to it, but that's for another video. So the point is that people like that, with all the love and respect in the world, they don't have the right to come and demand things from us, from American citizens, and from the government. They don't have the right to come in and demand and expect us to do stuff for them. However, with that being said, my position is clear. I believe it is still the right thing to do, to pass comprehensive immigration reform, to pass a pathway to citizenship, to keep DACA. I believe it's the right thing to do, but I also don't believe that they don't have the right to do what they did and act like spoiled, entitled brats and demand things, from the government, from the U.S. government. What happened with Kirsten Sinema was unacceptable. I condemn it, and I'm all for passing comprehensive immigration reform because it's the Christian thing to do. But they don't have the right to come in and demand and expect things, especially if they're not legal citizens. And another thing about this is we also got to take care of our own people. That's just what it is. We have to take care of our own homeless in this country. I see homeless in this country every day, and to be honest with you, neither party is doing anything to help people who are out on the streets. Hardly anything. Democrats maybe slightly more, but Democrats are corrupt, and Republicans aren't doing anything, and it breaks my heart to see our own citizens, our own veterans on the streets, and then we got these people coming in, and these people who are not really legal coming in demanding things from us, from our government. It's unacceptable, but passing comprehensive immigration reform is still the Christian thing to do. This should sum up my thoughts. I hope you guys got to hear this. I know there was some little outside noise. I'm headed back to the place I was at now, but I just wanted to let some thoughts out. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you soon. Javier Block 208, tuning out.